And it is something about the miles, how the miles and the mind grows weary. We don't always understand. There's been so many times in my life, Brother Barbara, it didn't make sense then, and some things still don't make sense to me. And there's just times in your life, you know, people think the devil wants to whip you up on you and get you to sin. But can I tell you, if he can just get you so down and out and so depressed that you don't ever move forward, that's as good as he needs you. And sometimes life can just knock the wind out of you. There's sometimes you're just so weary. A songwriter, Brother Carol Magruder, put it so perfectly one time. He said, a man that's hurt can't always shed a tear. Sometimes the pain is just too deep to hear. But if I can do anything tonight, I hope and pray that I want to tell somebody here tonight, and I want to tell you simply, you're going to make it. You're going to be okay. Look at your neighbor and say, you're going to make it. You're going to make it, sister. You're going to be okay. Tell them you're going to be okay. Because God's word said it. If you will, Brother Justin, I don't think Brother Justin loves me no more. I have killed our relationship. But he did not know, and I shared it right before, like 5 seconds before church started. Brother, there is a purpose in this picture. Let's give our multimedia team another good hand clap. They're awesome. I feel another biscuit on the way, Brother Justin. But anyway, Brother Justin said he's going to get with Pastor Sister Michelle and tell them don't ever let me have the pulpit ever again. But I asked Brother Justin to do this for him, but he didn't know the story, and he still don't know what the story is behind this picture. And you won't know until the end of it. But there is a point in the picture coming up. Tonight, if you will, I'm going to be reading from Hebrews 11, verses 13 through 16. It simply says, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is in heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he hath prepared for them a city. Then Hebrews chapter 10, we're going to read verses 34 and 36. For ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance. Cast not away your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. You may be seated. Tonight I want to talk to you on a subject I would title, Walking with a Vision, Not by Vision. We're living in times, Thomas Paine said it so great. He said, these are times that try men's souls. And he said, I like what he said. He said, the summer soldiers and the sunshine patriots will shrink from their country's defense in such crisis as this. What he was saying was, when the battle gets hot, all the fair weather people seem to disappear. He said, but we have this confidence, knowing one thing. He said, the greater the battle, the greater the victory. Tonight, we are in perilous times. and times like we've never seen before. And it amazes me. Brother Dale, I've seen great people fall, just get weary. I've seen people turn to preaching ear-tickling messages that used to preach such powerful truth and hold to it and instill it. And in this hour in which we live, Satan is after you, he's after me. And I want to tell you, don't count him short, because he's slick and he's sly. And he desires every one of us because he knows his time is short. And he's out to get everyone he can. He's got a snare and a trap set for each one of us. But if there's ever been an hour where you need to be on your toes, it's the hour in which we live. Because we don't have long. I believe that any moment the trumpet could sound. And that place that we sung about and that we want to go to, Sister Michelle's saying, don't you want to go? The place we've struggled so long and so hard to get to is just around the corner. And it was a lady by the name of Florence Chadwick. Yeah, this is your history moment. It was July the 4th of 1952. At the age of 34, Florence Chadwick attempted to swim and to be the first woman to swim 21 miles from the Catalina Island all the way to the shore of California. She started out that day with high expectations, and she was going to set several records. She wanted to be the fastest. Not only did she was going to be the first woman for sure, but she also wanted to be the fastest to ever do it, to cross the Catalina Channel. But that day the weather was not in her favor. That day the ocean, they said, was ice cold. And they also said that a thick fog had set in that made it impossible for her to even see the support boats that was following her. And here's where it would have really got me, though, Sister Tensie. This would have signed it and sealed it for me. They had to carry rifles because there were so many sharks in the water. And many times they would have to shoot the sharks to keep them away from her. Yeah, that would have done it. At times, the crew would fire the rifles, but she swam on. The fog was so thick she couldn't even see the support groups that was there, but she swam on. It was cold. She grew tired and she grew weary. She said, I couldn't feel my arms hardly. She swam for 15 hours and 55 minutes. Her mom and her coach was sitting on the support boat, hollering out to her, you're almost there. You've got this. You can make it. But she looked and she said it felt like she wasn't getting anywhere. Finally, she said, after the 15 hours and 55 minutes, she said, I can't take it no more. She said, pull me in. I can't do this. I'm too tired. I'm too weary. So they pulled her into the lifeboat. And it was Brian Cavanagh that noted that he overheard her talking to a reporter. Because after she got into the boat, she seen that the California shore was only a half a mile. She had swam 20.5 miles to give up a half mile away from the shore, her goal. She told the reporter, and this is her exact words, said, look, I'm not excusing myself, but if I could only have just seen the shore, I could have made it. I want to say that again. I'm not excusing myself, but if I could have only seen the shore, I could have made it. So many times, 2 months later, she would try it again. The fog was just as dense, they said, that day. The water was just as chilly. It was almost a repeat. But this time she made it after 13 hours and 47 minutes and 55 seconds. She reached the California shore, breaking a 27-year-old record by more than 2 hours and becoming the first woman to ever complete that swim. And the words just ring out and pierce my heart. If I could have only seen the shore, I would have made it. The first time she tried, her mom and her trainer kept cheering, telling her, "You're almost there." The voice of hope was pouring into her. Yet she let the cold water, she let the sharks that desired to eat her alive. She allowed the blinding fog and her own weariness to speak louder than the voice of hope, than the voice of "you can make it," the voice of encouragement. She allowed her surroundings and what she could see to speak louder than the voice that could see the way. On the support boat, they could see the shore. She was in the water and couldn't see above the fog. She was at fog level. So instead of listening to the voice that could see the way, she gave in to what her surroundings said. And once she was lifted up, I can imagine only how heart-sick she must have been. Like I said, to swim 20.5 miles and like a half a mile to reach the goal. And it reminds me of an old song that simply says, "Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that hath brought us safe thus far, and His grace will lead us on." We've got a lot of miles behind us. The conditions of our journey hasn't been perfect. We've had a lot of fog try to move in. We've had a lot of imps that tried to take us out. We've had a lot of pressure that we've had, a lot of battles we met. But I hope I'm going to listen to the voice that speaks, that can see beyond all the fog. The one that can see beyond my storm and over my storm. The one that says, "You've got this, you can make it." I'm going to listen to that voice instead of my own weary mind, my own tired body that says, "What's the use?" We've got a lot of miles behind us. But I hear a voice saying, "You're going to make it. Swim on, swim on, swim on." God, just as Chadwick's mom called out, "Yeah, I know the enemy desires to eat you alive. I know the fog and it blinds your vision. I know you're tired. But if you'll just hold on, just swim a little bit longer, you'll reach the shore." The voice cries out, "You're almost there. You've got this." The voice calls out, "Don't give up. Don't give up now. You're almost there." Church, we're almost home. We're almost there. I believe I see the lights of that city. I believe I see the lights of home. There's an older song says, this must be song night, but it says, "Just a little while. Soon this life will all be over and our pilgrimage will end. Soon we will take our heavenly journey, be at home with friends again. Heavenly gates are standing open wide, waiting for our entrance there. Some sweet day you're going over, all the beauties there to share. Just a little while to stay here, just a little while to wait, just a little while to labor in this low and sinful state, in the path that's always straight. Just a little more of troubles in this low and sinful state. Then we'll enter heaven's portals, sweeping through the pearly gates. Soon we'll see the lights of the morning and the new day will begin. Soon we'll hear the Father calling, 'Come home, my children, enter in.' And we'll hear the choir of angels singing out the victory song. All our troubles will be ended and we'll be in heaven's throne. Just a little while to stay here and just a little while to wait. There's just a little while to labor in the path that's always straight. Just a little more of troubles in this low and sinful state. Then we'll enter heaven's portals, sweeping through the pearly gates." Don't throw in the towel now. It's too near. We're only steps away from a crown of life. I know that the shore is hard to see right now, but it's there. Whatever you do, don't stop now. Don't stop now. Tell somebody, don't stop now. The voice of the one who is calling from the support boat is saying, "You're almost there. Don't give up now. We are in the last days. The Word declares that in the last days there will be a great falling away, and that everything that can be shaken will be shaken. 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 1 through 3 declares this, says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." I used to hear Mama sing a song, and I'm not even sure what the rest of it is, but the only thing I remember was the verse started out like this. It said, "Yesterday brought tears and made me wonder if I would ever walk upon the streets of gold." And as I've gotten older and I've seen some things, that song's become to make more sense to me. Because there's a great falling away. In just the last few months, I told you I'd be preaching to myself. I've seen some things I never thought I would see. I've seen some people and we should never get our eyes on people, because we're all, at the end of the day, we're all flesh. We can all fall. I don't care how long you pray every day. The devil's got a target on you. But I've seen so many falling by the way, so many getting weary, so many just giving in, so many turning away. But the Bible talked about the great falling away. And I often wonder, Sister Michelle, the Bible says two things. In the last days there's going to be a great falling away, but there's also going to be a great revival. And I remember a preacher sharing a dream he had. He said that he dreamed he saw some men, they were soldiers, and they were riding horses. He said, and as they would ride the horses, he said, one would fall off, but as soon as one soldier fell off the horse, another man would jump up on the horse and take off. And I said, you know what, that sort of reminds me of the end time. The great revival, the great falling away. I've seen the devil has fought more pastors and saints of God and mighty men of God in the last few months, and stories that are just unbelievable to me. And I have to admit, first it hurt my heart, and I become weary. And my spirit was heavy. But then I remembered, it's just a promise that in the last days there'll be a falling away. And if we're not careful, it'll be us. So if I can encourage you to do something, the devil's after you. And he wants to make it seem like nobody's got it. Nobody's going to make it to heaven. People you have confidence fall. Don't let the fog get you. Don't let the fog get you. You listen to the voice that's coming from that support boat. The one that says, I don't care what they did. I'm telling you, you can make it. You've got this. You're almost there. I don't know what they decide to do, but I'm telling you, my hand is upon you, and you're going to make it. You're almost there. Just hold on just a little while to labor. Just hold on a few more days. 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5 says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And I've seen in this last hours, and I stood there and I wondered, what went wrong? What happened? But I know the answer. Somehow a weary mind spoke louder than the voice from the boat. Somehow the fog blinded them, and they chose to go with their surroundings. You see, they let the fog, the cold water, and the sharks and their own weariness speak louder than the voice that rings from the support boat. The man from the support boat cries out, "You can make it!" But the weary mind says, "I'm just too tired." The voice from the boat says, "You can make it!" But my eyes only see shark fins, and I'm going to die before I reach the shore anyway. The voice from the boat cries out, "You don't have much further to go." But my tired, weary mind says, "You're not getting anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels." So weary, hell-fought, scared, scarred, battered, cold, and exhausted, we give up the swim. We say, "Pull us from the water. I can't take it anymore." Only to learn when we get that victory was only a half a mile. Victory was almost ours. And it's in Hebrews 12 and 27 that declares that the things that can't be shaken will remain. There's a great shaking going on in these last hours, but if you can be unshaken, you will remain. You will receive the promise. We started our reading in Hebrews 11, and it talked about some great, powerful men. If you read the whole chapter, it tells of great men and women of faith that got a hold of a promise. They got a hold of a vision. They professed that they were only pilgrims passing through, and that this world was not their home. All received promises and staggered not, counting God faithful to perform that which He had promised. They clearly declared, if God said it, it's done. And today the voice from the light boat, the support boat, says, John 6 and 33, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulations. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." 1 John 5, 4 through 6, he says, "For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God? This is he that came by the water and the blood, even Jesus Christ, not by water only, but by water and the blood. And it is the Spirit that bear witness, because the Spirit is truth." The voice from the boat screams, "You win! You're going to overcome." But your tired, weary body is trying to tell you, what is the use? You'll never make it. But can I remind you, the voice that's calling from the support boat can see the shore. You can't see it right now, but victory is yours, saith the Lord. And it seems like Peter had the same struggle. You remember the story, Peter? He's like, "Lord," Jesus is walking on water, and he says, "Lord, hey, Jesus, if that's you, bid me come to you." Jesus said, "All right." He said, "Bring it on, Peter, come on." Peter steps out, and he's doing okay for a few steps there. But then all of a sudden, I know you know the story better than I know, but he began to look at the waves. He began to look at the winds that was blowing. And he began to sink, and he said, "Lord, save me, save me." And then Jesus, I have to say, I believe he might have said it sort of like this. He might have said, "Boy, what is wrong with you? Didn't I tell you to come?" How could you be of so little faith? Jesus had already told him, come on, I got you. And we do the same thing through life. We meet storms and we meet obstacles, and it looks like we're going down for the last time. And we lose sight of what Jesus, the voice from the support boat, said. Peter catches sight of all the wind and all. And just like Florence Chadwick, the mom that could see, told Florence, you're almost there. But Florence let the surroundings of herself speak louder, and so did Peter. Peter let all the surrounding distractions speak louder than the voice of Jesus. So later, Chadwick attempts the second swim we read. And this time she crushes it. She sets a record, beating the last record by 2 hours, and also becoming the first woman to swim the Catalina Channel. So what made the difference? The second attempt, she just blows it off out the door. And I discovered the answer. Brother Justin, here you go. I got you. Some of you may recognize this picture. If you've ever been to Pigeon Forge, you may know this place. We had went, believe it or not, that's not me. It's not fat enough, but that's somebody. But that is the tunnel. There's a place called Wonderworks, and me being the big kid that I am, I love that place. And but they had this tunnel right here. It's called the Optical Illusion Tunnel, and it looked pretty simple. But I found out what happened to Chadwick and Peter through this tunnel. I was with Charity and Ashley. They got a lot of laughs out of me. It looked really simple. Sister Michelle, did y'all go through that? Anyway, it's a tunnel. It's just a tunnel, and there's this walkway, like a catwalk kind of thing, that goes through it. But inside the tunnel was those spiral things, and as you walk, they spin. The tunnel itself is not moving, just the spiral things, and the projector is moving. And I was like, there's nothing to that, until I stepped into it. And I realized that my equilibrium is not my friend. And although the catwalk or the little bridge there was not moving at all, my mind told me it was. And I tried to walk, and I almost staggered. I would stumble and almost fell over the gate. Charity and Ashley sort of made it through way better than I did. But I finally got a theory, Sister Michelle. I said, I know how I'm going to beat this. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to shut my eyes to what I'm seeing. And I'm going to have to get a hold of that rail and get my feet in the center. And if I just close my eyes and keep walking, I won't be affected by what's around me. I grabbed a hold of that rail, and it wasn't long, and I was standing on the other side. But it was quite humorous before I shut my eyes. And 200 plus something fall over the side of the rails probably would have been hilarious. But I managed to, I didn't never fall. I almost thought I was going to fall. So I learned a valuable lesson there. I learned the secret that Chadwick and Peter learned. You see, whenever Chadwick went back to swim for the second time, she realized that she couldn't see the shore with this. If she was ever going to make it, she's going to have to see the shore like this. Because our circumstances sometimes, if we focus on them, it's too big for our minds to conceive. Sometimes there's a time in your life when your storm and your trial is too big. That's the time when you're going to have to shut this thing down and shut this down, these two items down. And you're going to have to just stand on what God said. And instead of walking by what you see, you're going to have to walk by what you know. Sometimes, Sister Michelle, we just have to walk with a vision and not by vision. Somehow we're going to have to catch a glimpse of a vision. I can see Chadwick as she began to swim that day for the second time. I can imagine when the gunfires went off when they were trying to scare the sharks away from her. Instead of panicking, she closed her eyes. And I know what she was visualizing. She was seeing the shores of California. Because she was desperately saying, I can't see it. Because remember, the fog was just as thick the second time as it was the first time. But what she was doing, say, I can't go by this. I can't go by these. I'm going to have to shut my eyes and go by this, because I know they're over there, and I know I can reach it, and I know I would have made it if I would have just kept on going the first time. I would have already had this behind me. Every time her arms got tired, I have to believe she shut her eyes again, and she'd say, yes, I'm weary. And I don't really know where I'm going to get the strength, but I know I can do this. I know I was so close already before, but if I'll just close my eyes and see the shore. Because sometimes she learned I'm going to have to swim with a vision and not by a vision. So I'm going to shut my eyes to the sharks, because God said I'm going to make it. I know there's cold, lonely nights that I don't understand why I'm going through what I'm going through. But I'm simply going to shut my eyes. And all of a sudden, I see some golden streets. I see some pearly gates that I started out for a long time ago. I wish some people would stop saying it is what it is. Start speaking those things that aren't as though they are. Listen to what the voice from the boat is calling and declaring and speaking into your life tonight. To the disciples on the boat during the storm, they thought they were surely going down this time. Jesus speaks to the winds and the waves, and he declares, peace, be still. He turns to them and says, O ye of little faith. Don't you get it? You've seen me do all these miracles. You've seen me bring the dead to life. And you think I'm going to fail you now? But the fog, Master, was so thick. I was so tired I couldn't even think straight. I started letting the things and the doubts speak louder than your words. I have to believe when Chadwick swam the second time, she kept her eyes closed almost the entire time, I would think, envisioning the vision. Yes, it's foggy tonight, and it's even thicker than it's been in a long, long time in your life. But I hear a voice coming from the support boat, using an old fat guy up here, saying, you're going to make it. You're almost there. You're going to make it. You got this because I said it. You can't see the end right now. You can't see the shore with your physical eyes. But if you'll just get a hold of the glimpse of the vision you had the night that you prayed through, I can see the shore. You're almost there. Don't give up. I have to believe that Chadwick, when her mama told her this time, baby, you're almost there, I have to believe she said, yeah, Mama, I know. Because I got a vision. I can't see through the fog, but in my mind, I got a vision that I'm headed for. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Romans 4:17 through 22. As it is written, I have made thee a father, talking to Abraham, I have made thee a father of many nations, before him whom ye believed, even God who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which not be as they are, though they are. Who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which he had spoken, so shall thy seed be. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead, when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise of God through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to God, and believing fully persuaded, and being fully persuaded that he had promised, he was able also to perform. And therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness. The fog cried out, Abraham, you're too old. You're too weak. Abraham staggers not. I've got a promise. I've got a vision of a son. I'm not walking by vision, but I'm walking with a vision. The enemy tells you you're never going to make it. Give up, turn around. You're too old, you're too tired, you're too cold, the sharks will eat you. The fog is stealing your vision. But shut your eyes to what's around you, shut your eyes to what's surrounding you, and envision the vision. The voice from the boat tonight says you're almost home. You're almost there. You've got this. Close your eyes and swim with the vision. Swim like never before. See, I got a hold of a vision a long time ago that said, let not your heart be troubled, yet believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. But I go to prepare for you a place. And if I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, for where I am, there ye shall be also. I started my journey with a vision of a place called heaven. Jesus said it was for me, and he said it could be mine. The conditions of my journey have not been perfect. The sharks, they have come, but I close my eyes and I see the shore. When the nights are cold and lonely, I close my eyes and I see the warm, sunny shore. Says Michelle, you can come to the music. When I'm weary and I feel too weak and empty to make it, I just close my eyes, I see the shore. When my eyes are blinded by the fog and my mind is dazed and confused, I close my eyes and I see the shore. I'm going to make it because I'm walking with a vision and not by vision. The voice within myself says, it's just too hard. You're all alone. They are going to devour you. You can't see the way. But the vision and the voice from the boat calls out, you're going to make it. And I smile back and I say, my heavenly home is bright and fair. I feel like traveling on. No pain nor death will ever enter there. I think I'll just travel on. Its glittering towers, the sun outshines. You know what? I think I'll just travel on. The heavenly mansion shall be mine. I think I feel like traveling on. My heavenly home, you see, is bright and fair. And surely I'm almost there. I think I'll just travel on. Because you know the Lord, you've really been so good to me. And I don't think I'm going to rest until I see that beautiful home. So I think I'll just travel on. Because you see, my heavenly home is bright and fair. And though I'm weary, I'm tired. I don't understand life. But I've come too far. I think I'll just travel on. Because I'm here to tell you tonight, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that thy faith fail not. In these last hours before the return of the Lord, men's hearts have grown wicked and will continuously seek to please the flesh. Their minds dwell on evil, and they have perverted even the God's holy word to tickle itchy ears. It may seem like no one around you is going to get it. The fog's so thick you can't see the way yourself. But I pray that your faith fail you not. I know it gets hard. I know you don't understand where you're at right now. But God said for me to tell you, you're going to make it. You're almost there. I think we'll just travel on. How about that? Someone is going to live it. His word said we could. And I pray that you hold fast. I pray for your strength. I pray that your faith fail not. You see, if tomorrow my heroes had all fallen by the way, if they had turned from all that they had taught, still, Lord, I will hold to you and your word. And though man may fall, God, you never fail. I would march on, because surely someone is going to make it. If I woke to a valley low and my spirit wearied me and I was wearied with despair, I will never doubt that you're there and your word is true, and you didn't lie when you declared that all things work for my good. Yes, Lord, I'll march on, for surely someone's going to make it. If my friends all turn and I'm left alone to face the fight, yet I will know you will never leave me alone. I'll gladly march on, because surely someone is going to make it. When loved ones pass and I wonder why, I'll not question, but rest assured that in the by and by, on some golden strand we'll all meet again. Gladly I'll march on, because your word says somebody's going to make it. When all my dreams crash and burn to ashes, they lie scattered all over the ground. When all I've reached for dissipates and hope can't be found, I'll gladly march on, because you said I can make it. If I should stumble, if I should slip or fall, maybe I just got weary from it all. I'll gladly march on, because surely somebody is going to make it. For I feel assured, if I'm faithful till the end, if I just hold out, if I just try one more time, though these eyes, they cannot see, but by faith, I'll envision the finish line. For surely someone is going to make it. And God, let it be me. If you're ever going to make it, you're going to have to make it with a vision, not by vision. I'll tell one more thing and then I'll get out of the way. I was going through a dark time in my younger years. A lot of things happened, Sister Michelle, I didn't understand. And it really had me. There were days I didn't even want to wake up. Life does that sometimes. I went to bed one night and I had a dream. I dreamed I was in my house and I had left, and I lived in Biloxi at the time. And there was a road. Now it's a big highway, but back when I was growing up, we lived at what they call the boondocks. Now it's hotels and truck stops and you name it, it's all there. But back then it was woods. Our house in woods. And they had a narrow road. It was Tucker Road. And it was fairly big enough for two cars to get down with maybe 2 inches between them. I walked out of my house and I looked at the road, and they had cars just flying and driving crazy. So I got in my car and I pulled out and got on Tucker Road, and I'm dodging all these crazy people that's just driving 100 miles an hour. And I look, and all of a sudden there were tornadoes everywhere. There's 2 over here, a couple over there, and they were just everywhere. And I become fearful. And I finally come up on I-10 there, not too far from the house. And whenever I got to the interstate there, everybody on the interstate was driving in reverse about 100 miles an hour backwards. And my heart was pounding, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to die. And it was at that point in the dream I heard a voice say, in a time where men are living without direction, they're living so fast, and there's storms on every hand, my hand is upon you. I got a hold of a vision that night, Brother Mike. Yes, I get tired. Yes, there's times I don't understand what's happening and why I got to go through things I got to go through. But I remember a voice in a dream that said, in the midst of it all, in the midst of the storm, in the midst where people are living without direction and living so fast, my hand is upon you. And tonight, the King of Glory is wanting to tell somebody else, my hand is upon you. And you're going to make this. You got it. Keep on swimming. Keep walking. Get a hold of a vision. You'll never make it if you don't get a hold of a vision. If you won't buy this, you'll never make it. Life's too hard. The fog's too thick. The sharks want you. But if you'll ever just close these and get a vision and not with vision. If you will stand. And just for a little while, if you will come around the front. And I'll be the first to admit this message is for me. But I hope somehow, some way I could help somebody. To let you know there's a voice calling from the support boat that says you're going to make it. Tell your neighbor you're going to make it. You're going to be okay. God bless you.
There is enough.